Iniisip ko na at pinaghahandaan bukas. Na hindi na pala niya kailangang umalis ng bahay upang tumawid sa tulay, pumunta sa paaralan at makipagkaibigan. Hindi ko na rin siyang kailangan pang iwan sa kanyang guro at mga kalaro. At hindi na niya kailangang magpaalam sa akin para may baon siyang dadalhin. Anak, ngayong balik eskwela na ay kapiling na lagi kita. Sa ngayon, ito muna ang baon mo. Ang oras ko, ang ipon ko, ang hataw ko, ang pagmamahal ko. Dahil hindi lang pera o barya ang kaya kong ibigay sa iyong paglalakbay. Sa walang katiyakang panahon at walang hanggang pagkakataon, tuloy ang edukasyon, tuloy ang baon.
Hi to all teachers out there. As we move closer to the threshold of the new academic year in the new normal, many people start to doubt about teachers' involvement in the learning process. Are they detached from their roles in nurturing lifelong learners, or are they disengaged from the algorithm of the ideal teaching and learning process? In this session, allow me to situate the teacher in the new modality of teaching and learning in this time of the pandemic, and examine their intricate roles as they carry out their mandate to deliver quality basic education for all learners at all times. The most essential learning competencies were provided by DepEd as the primary reference for all schools in determining and implementing learning delivery approaches that are suited to the local context and diversity of learners while adapting to the challenges posed by COVID-19. Referring to the MELCs, teachers collaboratively create learning designs for different learning areas. Following the DepEd MIS or instructional delivery model for distance learning, these come in two forms: digital or electronic instructional materials in video format and self-learning modules in print format. Both should be complementary to enhance or emphasize the lessons to be learned in a specific time frame, or should be supplementary to complete the processes needed for the acquisition of specific competencies. The digital file covers the part when the teacher delivers instruction through presentation of the lesson, demonstration of skill, illustration of learning experiences, and elucidation of meaning, while the module promotes students' engagement and ensures students understand concepts and skill relevance. It is focused on exposing students to concepts and skills and practicing them in ways that allow for teachers' feedback. From the teacher, the digital or electronic instructional materials are channeled through different means The most common and most accepted is through offline external interface using Universal Serial Bus for TV and computers or USB on-the-go for tablets and smartphones to act as hosts. The same digital materials can be channeled through online platforms or through live TV or radio broadcasting or streaming on real time. The digital content will serve as teachers' input. The teacher's input and the self-learning modules are designed to create the ideal learning process of the learner, where they acquire concrete experience, where they reflect on the experience, learn from the experience, and try out what has been learned through active experimentation. All these will form part of the learner's products of learning. Products are learners' active engagement in their own learning process and making sense of the content. Learners are subjects of their own learning. To be engaged in the learning process, students must be given ownership for their learning. This ownership grows from personal and situational choices within the learning experience. The products of learning then allows the students to do assessment of learning, emphasizing their accountability over their own learning, and the teacher to do assessment for learning that is aimed at helping students know what to do to improve their work. Through the intricacies of this learning process is a teacher's creativity, ingenuity, diligence, responsibility, and accountability. The teacher is the design herself, and if the teacher is not seen in the forefront, it is because he or she is on the other end, holding the lever to move the whole system to work.
Kung hagit alang sa atong mga magtutudlo ang pag-edukar sa atong mga magtutungha taliwala sa huga sa COVID-19. Tungod sa dedikasyon sa Department of Education alang sa pagpadayon sa edukasyon para sa tanan, kaya tagan usab og pagtagad ang offline distance learning tungod ug alang sa mga magtutungha nga dili makahimo sa online class. Hugot ang atong pakiglambigit sa atong mga barangay officials aron mahatag ang mga modules nga pagagamitan sa atong mga magtutungha. Nakiglambigit usab kita sa atong mga ginikanan nga aduna usab dakong tahas sa pagpaedukar sa atong mga kabataan. Ato sundan ang pagpahigayon sa distance learning. Gikan sa Regional Office ang Project Adobe moagi sa Division Modem Nerve Center. Kini iapod-apod sa District Modem Center ug pagadawaton sa mga school heads para sa produksyon sa mga modules. Kalakip niini ang mga interaktibong nga videos nga binuhat sa mga magtutudlo para sa paghaom sa mga leksyon gamit ang lokal nga konteksto. Kini nga mga materyales pagadawaton sa mga magtutungha sa duha ka pamaagi, kuhaon sa eskwelahan o ihatod sa ilang tagsitag sa mga panimalay. Aron sa pagprepara sa atong mga magtutungha sa atong offline distance learning, atong hatagan usab og pagtagad ang atong luna pagtulunan.
Okay, ang atong luna pagtulunan kung di makahimo sa pagtanaw sa TV gamit ang flash drive ang atong mga magtutungha na walay telebisyon sa ilahang panimalay. Karon sa balay ni June. Kining mga materyales ug ang flash drive, iya kini gamiton alang sa iyahang pagtuon. Pinaagi niini pwede niya mabalik-balik ang iyahang mga leksyon.
Gamit sa flash drive tungod kay pwede usab na ko makita ang ilang leksyon.
Sa akong module of videos kay pabalik-balik ang akong lecture.
Now momentarily here in my office, everybody is restricted to come near me so I don't have to wear a mask. Every close contact I have with other people builds up my level of anxiety. So you see, I am just as anxious as everyone else in this time of the pandemic with all the restrictions and limitations being imposed. Restrictions seem to have defined the new normal. We are restricted to hold face-to-face meetings, to go to the mall, to attend religious congregations, just to maintain the universal policy on social distancing. So what used to be often became unfrequented. What used to be usual became rare. And we feel less because emotions are strongly connected to movement and expression. More movement and expression means we feel more. Less movement and expression means we feel less. We might be in a situation when we feel less lonely and sad, but we always have an option to see things differently and choose to be creative, restorative, and innovative. When we learn that schools will be open in August, we start to think about the things that we can't do and we don't have. We don't have online resources. Our teachers can teach online. Our student can access online learning. And so on and so forth. The list can be endless. But I really believe that the first step to take in order to thrive in the new normal is change of mindset. Rather than thinking to be less, think to be more. And so in this session, I will talk about the banner program of Misamis Oriental Division dubbed as Be More. Optimization is the design and operation of a system or process to make it as good as possible in some defined sense, while maximization is the act of raising something to its greatest value or extent. Using these principles will ensure that the utilization of resources and implementation of initiatives will be done in a way that it will get the best results. The big question now is, do we have resources? The answer is we don't have if we focus on what we don't have. But we have resources in our possession and within our control. What are these resources? They come in 4 T's: treasure, talent, technology, and time. Treasure represents our financial resources. We need to do realignment of resources by revisiting our strategic plan and division education development plan. There are program strategies and modalities that are no longer relevant. There are also emerging needs that we need to prioritize, hence the realignment. Even our school budget must be reviewed. Our special education fund must be revisited to ensure that it supports the expenditures identified in our learning continuity plan. Talent represents our human resources. Imagine our thousands of teachers and personnel. That is a great deal of human resources. And we need to tap these resources now. Each teacher is a repository of teaching techniques and strategies that are time-tested and are quality assured based on the products that they have produced over the years. Currently, we are pulling our resources together by inviting teachers to write modules that can be used in online and offline modalities throughout the school year. By maximizing talent and skills of our teachers, we save money and time in coming up with lesson exemplars that can be used by all teachers. So, before we go outside and look for resources and teacher training, let's look at our best practices first that work best in our own context. One strategy on how we optimize the use of technology is through our project modem or Misamis Oriental Digital Mainstreaming. We see to it that a system is established before we conduct training on content so no teacher is left behind. Now, 100% of our districts has established the ICT network which facilitated the delivery of training and other initiatives to the doorstep of our teachers. Time is the most important resource ever. Once time is gone, it's gone forever. It's a limited resource that expires every day. So instead of just getting petrified in one corner and do nothing except to wait until the pandemic is over, let's innovate, create, and look for solutions. Some major innovations that we have conducted are the following. SOAR 2.0. This is scaling up organizational accountability and responsibility. This is our capability building program for the supervisors and school heads on digital leadership. Considering that we now operate in a new leadership environment we describe as VUCA, volatile, uncertain, complex, and ambiguous world, it is a must to open opportunities to our education leaders to acquire fresh new perspectives on school leadership. ELEVATE stands for Enhancing Learning in Virtual and Actual Thinking Environments. This is to ensure that methodologies used in teaching are varied, learner-centered, and multimodal. This project highlights the adoption of blended learning and other available alternative delivery modes and the promotion of critical thinking and 21st century skills acquisition. This COVID-19 crisis is a test of our character. The more resilient we are, the easier we can navigate through this challenging situation. The more creative we are, the more we can discover solutions and intervention. And the more we can foster a sense of normalcy in this time of the need. Be More is not just an initiative, it's a mindset.
A pleasant afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the graduation ceremony of elementary school learners of Binitinan Elementary School with the theme, Kalidad ng Edukasyon, lalong patatagin sa gitna ng pandemya. Strengthening the quality of education amid COVID-19 pandemic. The virtual program shall now commence. In lieu of the processional, we begin with a montage of images of schoolmates, colors, and our candidates for graduation for school year 2020-2021, together with the faculty, staff, and DepEd officials. Ladies and gentlemen, our candidates for graduation.
GPTA officers, headed by the GPTA President, Mr. Jonathan G. Ranan. The Binitinan Elementary School teachers. Our school principal, Mrs. Elsa E. Luquias. Our public schools district supervisor, Mrs. Rosana S. Emanel. Our school's governance and operations division chief education supervisor, Dr. Maria Teresa M. Absin. Our Curriculum Implementation Division Chief Education Supervisor, Dr. Erlinda G. Dael. Our Assistant Schools Division Superintendent, Dr. Nympha R. Lago, CESO 6. Our Schools Division Superintendent, Dr. Jonathan S. De La Peña, CESO 5. Our DepEd Regional Director, Dr. Arturo B. Bayukot. Our DepEd Secretary, Leonor M. Briones. Our guest speaker,
Invoke the presence of our Lord through an opening prayer. This will be followed by the singing of our national anthem, the regional march, Mr. March, and Balingasag hymn.
Mga kababayan, ang pambansang awit ng Pilipinas. Kayang magiliw, telas ng sigatanan, alam ng puso, sa titik mo'y buhay. Lupang hinirang, tuyag ka ng magiting, sa manlulupin, di ka pasisigil, sa nagataktulog sa simoy at sa langit ng pagaw, ay hinatang tulad awit sa
Glorious Saint Joseph, model of all those who are devoted to labor, obtain for me the grace to work conscientiously, putting the call of duty above my many sins, to work with thankfulness and joy, considering it an honor to employ and develop, by means of labor, the gifts received from God, to work with order, peace, prudence, and patience, never surrendering to weariness or difficulties, to work, above all, with purity of intention and with detachment from self, having always death before my eyes, and the account which I must render of time lost, of talents wasted, of good omitted, of vain complacency and success so fatal to the work of God. All for Jesus, all for Mary, all after thy example, O Patriarch Joseph. Such shall be my motto in life and in death. Amen.
Diyos sa miyang Mindanao mabuhay, himahal na mong natawan, mauswagon masidakon malipayon, papalo sa katahon. Magpabiling taning kasing-kasing, ang kabanaan o kamalipayon, di sa kanunay gugmaan magpaibabaw, ang kahon sa'yo kanina. Mabuhay ang iyang Mindanao, yutan na among natawan, bisag usab man kalimar, kami na minahalan. Sa buhat o katuyuan, simbolo sa kagawasan, magpabiling na magkahinusa, kadahugan sa tanan. Mabuhay ang iyong Mindanao, utang na among natawan, isag-usap man kaliwat, kami na minahalay. Sa buhat o katuyuan, simbolo sa kagawasan, magpabiling na magkahinusa, kadahugan sa tanan. Magpabiling na magkahinusa, kadahugan sa tanan.
Kabukiran kapatagan ug ang imong kadagatan, mao'y bahandi nga giambingan sa among mga kaliwatan, puloy anan kong namatan, hari sa amihanan. Balingasag o balingasag, bituon kaning lalawigan. Bahandi anong kayutaan na imong gipatikan sa makugihong mga kamot. Kini ginaubad, maragayaong mga abot sa mabungahong kaumahan. Hamugaway nga kahimtang sa imong mga katawhan. Balingasag lungsod kong pinangga, gasa ka ni Batala. Asa man ako doon sa kapalaran, malikihapon ko sa imong kiliran. Mga katawhan gipahimutang sa luag mong kayutaan. Mga isda nga naglangoy sa bandianon mong kadagatan. Ginaiyan dili pasipatan, hinunua ampingan. Alang sa kabulahanan, sa umabot pang kaliwatan. Balingasag lungsod kong pinangga, gasa ka ni Batala. Iyang punamo ang paguswa mo. Balingasag o balingasag, kabukiran kapatagan, ug ang imong kadagatan. Mau'y bahanding agiampingan sa among mga kaliwatan. Puloy anan kong namatan, hari sa amihanan. Balingasag o balingasag, bituon kaning lalawigan. Balingasag o balingasag, bituon kaning lalawigan.
The school principal, Mrs. Elsa E. Lucias, will now formally open the graduation ceremony of Binitinan Elementary School.
Our school's division superintendent, Dr. Jonathan S. de la Peña, CESO 5, and to our assistant schools division superintendent, Dr. Nemfa R. Lago, the GPTA president and officers, honored guests, faculty and staff, to the candidates for graduation, parents, ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon. The graduation ceremony of elementary school learners of Binitinan Elementary School is hereby declared in session.
The welcome address will now be given by Mr. Jedediah Josh D. Rosalita.
To our distinguished guests, our school division superintendent, Dr. Jonathan S. de la Peña, CESO 5, our public schools district supervisor, Mrs. Rosana S. Emanuel, our beloved school principal, Mrs. Elsa E. Lucias, our dear teachers, parents, barangay officials, headed by our barangay chairwoman, Honorable Dilela M. Sunugan, fellow candidates for graduation, relatives and friends, ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon. Today is the 59th graduation rites of Binitinan Elementary School for school year 2020 to 2021. In behalf of the graduating class, I would like to welcome you all for this virtual graduation rites with the theme Strengthening the Quality of Education amid the COVID-19 pandemic. Welcome, welcome, welcome.
At this point, we shall now hear the message of our school's Division Superintendent, Dr. Jonathan S. De La Peña, CESO 5, and DepEd Secretary Leonor M. Briones.
If you don't go after what you want, you will never have it. If you don't ask, the answer is always no. If you don't step forward, you are always in the same place. Your graduation today is a milestone that marks how far you have traveled and what significant change have you made in your life. It is an important milestone as it signifies the acquisition of necessary competence, character, and credentials which allow you to confidently move to the next phase of your educational journey. I take pride in your achievement, which has become even more meaningful as the final stretch of your journey has been arduous. Each of you now exemplifies endurance and flexibility, which have long been considered as unique Filipino character. Both folkloric and historical, the Filipino is likened to a bamboo that bends with the wind and can survive a storm. More than resilience, we have strengthened our bayanihan spirit. I commend the school officials, teachers, and personnel for making everything possible, from writing and printing modules to ensuring that new modalities work for our learners. I also express my appreciation to the parents for playing unprecedented roles, especially when we transition to modular learning in the learners' learning spaces at home. Their participation to educating our children has been remarkable. I also express my gratitude to our government officials and stakeholders for providing us resources that we needed and for giving us hope and encouragement to continue doing our job. To our young graduates, you will be written in the history, for you emerged from unique circumstances. Step forward with pride and confidence. Pride for completing and hurdling a specific level of education, and confidence for the assurance that you have become 21st century learners who are competent, resilient, and independent. Warmest congratulations on your achievement.
Good day to each and everyone who is attending virtually present at this time of our graduation ceremonies for our beloved and very precious graduates for the school year which ends at this time. First of all, I'd like to greet the parents and family members without whose sacrifices, whose reminders, and whose participation in the learning process for our graduates have resulted in this culmination program. This year, your role has changed drastically, where we've always believed that the matter of educating our children rests nearly exclusively on our teachers and our staff. This time, you parents, you family members, you who are in the households of our learners have expanded your role and contributed to this wonderful day wherein finally, our learners are graduating in this culmination exercise. So, congratulations, because this year has not been very easy, has not been a picnic for our teachers, for our family members, as well, especially the parents, mothers, fathers, sisters, brothers, and all who have contributed to the achievement of our learners at this time. So, maraming salamat at congratulations, parents and family members. Mas malaki ang role ninyo at this time compared to earlier graduation exercises. Secondly, I would also like to greet our teachers, without whose very careful review and careful supervision of the work of our pupils and our learners, this event would would not be taking place at all. And so thank you, teachers. Your role has also expanded in addition to seeing to it that the modules are faithfully followed, the assignments are correctly implemented, and the learners are truly learning, and you have had to deal with new ways of assessing the performance also of the learners. So congratulations, teachers, for enduring, for your patience, for your love for our learners, and your willingness to engage in a way and methods of teaching which are different from those which are used to. Assessment must have been especially difficult for you, especially since you were not able to see most of the time our students in face-to-face meetings, and most of the meetings, of course, were virtual. We'd also like to thank the local government units for their interest, for their cooperation, and for their continuing contributions to the needs of education, even as our children do not go to school. Your donations of material as well as financial resources at this time are most welcome, and your advice has been taken seriously not only by our teachers, by our school officials, but also by our officials in the Department of Education. We continually talk with local government units, especially in times of disaster, in times of great need for classrooms, for space, and for responses to unforeseen emergencies. Thank you, local government units. But of course, most of the congratulatory greetings fall on the deserving graduate. Each and every one of you is truly special. You are different from the other graduates who have passed through the portals of your school. You went to school practically without seeing your teachers, if at all. You went to school with your parents, your mothers, and your fathers hovering over your shoulders and seeing to it that you are able to complete your assignments. You are completing your studies at a time when examinations and assessments are different. You are culminating these long months of hard work at this time, even as you have to do family chores, even as you are distracted, and even as your world has turned upside down, and it seems and it appears as if we don't know what the future holds and what will happen next. But you have persevered, and now you are ready to graduate. And therefore, you deserve each and every bit of congratulations from us in the Department of Education, from your parents and family members, your teachers, from the officials in local government, as well as in the parent teachers associations. You deserve each and every single congratulatory pat on your back, each hug virtually, of course, and each greeting, which I am sure you are also receiving virtually. I don't know if you will remember this event many, many years from now. I have tried to recall myself who our graduation speaker was when I finished high school and when I finished my college studies. All I remember is that the graduation speaker was someone important, someone who was invited because that someone is supposed to give a message. What was more important to us graduates at that time was the excitement of the celebrations, the happiness and the joy of our parents, the sadness of parting from our classmates and from our teachers, and the enjoyment of all the graduation events that usually take place come commencement day. When I was a college student, we had a series of events which were designed to embed in our minds, which were designed to help us remember and not forget our days in college. We would spend one whole day going around the campus, visiting the classrooms, saying goodbye to our teachers, and sharing memories. We would have bonfires to say goodbye to each other. We had baccalaureate services where we committed ourselves to God and we prayed for guidance when we go out into the world. So many celebrations, and the speaker, of course, is the least important and easily forgotten component of the graduation exercise. Nonetheless, I will exert all efforts to share with you what I see are things or issues which a graduate should remember and recall. I have said that you are very special. You are very different. You are pioneering. There has been no other class like your class. There has been no other graduate like you as a graduating student because you are the very first graduate of the blended learning response to education in the Philippines. And so you ask yourself, what awaits you in the world outside? You can either work because the kind of curriculum you survived and underwent as a student will enable you to go to work if you wish to go to work. Some of you will proceed to further studies, and this would be a wonderful thing because there are many opportunities for further expanding your knowledge, for further answering and looking for explanations of issues, events that make you curious, especially in science, in technology, and also in the arts. So you can work, you can go to further studies, and perhaps some of you will settle down, hopefully not too soon, so you can pursue what you really want to do. So today, this is why we call this exercise a commencement exercise. It's not the end of our studies. It's not the end of all our efforts with blended learning, with modules, with floods, with earthquakes, and of course with COVID. It's a commencement of doors opening to you. More doors will be opened because you are a graduate. You can work, you can proceed for further studies, you can help your parents, and you can perhaps look for opportunities to do what you have always wanted to do, whether at work, whether at advanced studies, whether at learning more in science and technology, in mathematics, and in the arts. All of these opportunities are available to you. More doors are being opened. I hope you will select the door which arouses your curiosity, the door which will help you know more about this world, and the door which will allow you to contribute to the development of our country and contribute whatever we can to solve our problems and our challenges. Congratulations once more to each and every one of you. Congratulations to you, parents and family members. Congratulations to you, teachers. When I was chair of the board of Silliman University, each time we had graduation ceremonies during the baccalaureate and during commencement itself, I would cry. I would cry because you are sending out into the world a new batch of graduates, and we want to be sure that what is awaiting them is appropriate. We want to be sure that they are ready for what awaits them when they select which door to open. And so we tell you, go out to the world, do whatever you want to do. God be with you, and be sure, be assured that all of us love each and every one of you. Congratulations.
The school principal, Mrs. Elsa E. Lucias, will now present the grade 6 candidates for graduation.
Dr. Jonathan S. de la Peña, CESO 5, Schools Division Superintendent of the Division of Misamis Oriental. I have the honor to present to you the candidates for graduation of Binitinan Elementary School for school year 2020-2021, of whom 42 are males, 46 are female, a total of 88 grade 6 learners who have satisfactorily completed the requirements of the K-12 basic education curriculum elementary school level of the Department of Education. May I therefore request you to confirm their graduation.
By the authority vested in me as Schools Division Superintendent of the Department of Education, Division of Misamis Oriental, and upon certification of your school principal that you have satisfactorily completed the basic requirements prescribed by the Department of Education under the K-12 basic education curriculum, I now confirm you graduates of this school year 2020-2021. Congratulations.
The distribution of diploma shall now follow. Ladies and gentlemen, elementary school graduates of Binitinan Elementary School, class of 2021.
Candidates for graduation. Grade 6 Cheerful. Rick John Ray S. Galolo. Colin C. Hayao. Daniel G. Macas. James Lee C. Nabo. J. Ford Nabo. Jedediah Jos D. Rosaleta. Carl M. Salas. Gerald L. Season Jr. Jimmy S. Son Jr. Cyron Andre A. Valenzuela. John Paul C. Vicente. Maurice Gil O. Abi. Ria Paula C. Bernales. Gladys E. Ivardo. Novim B. Gadbudi. Maria Laika Glaneda. Treskia Giselle C. Guanzon. Roslyn G. Hamias. Skylin Amor T. Hamias. Chloe Del E. Lagu. Aiza Juliana C. Mabanta. Miles is Mantos. Jaya A. Montera. Shana Ashley C. Norte. Via Jane E. Sahol. Shinky A. Tagsa. Shakira Valmoria. Janelle P. Villacora.
Grade 6 Jazz. Levi E. Amidina. Marco Q. Asis. Sherwin G. Asis. Chris Devon M. Balangyo. Joshua F. Batarsal Jr. Kian Ray K. Bazan. Joser A. Kalunsag. Gian Lester C. Caranzo. Hooper M. Dago. Lawrence E. Lanzaderas. Gerald Troy S. Ligan. Ronel Macaslang. John J. A. Palapar. June Ive S. Palapar. Ashley Joy C. Andrada. Daniela Z. Asis. Garl Faith M. Bazan. Aureline E. Embate. Clarice B. Gabutira. Glyza S. Ganzan. Charlene S. Jimenez. Lou L. Mabanta. Mary Rose L. Mabanta. Alea Jane F. Maicon. Michelle Ann C. Nabo. Oliva May L. Oliveros. Giselle Grace R. Paspito. Hagar Rioja. Versa May C. Sales. Scarlett A. Somahe.
Grade 6 Hope. Rel V. Abuela Jr. Gian Abing. Gisrel C. Amancio. Jackson-Ray B. Andrada, GC James Ab Kailing, Glenn B. Daha, Rizim Alter de Lima, Michael Albert C. Duay Lungsod, Daniel E. Magbago, J. C. Padaya, John D. C. K. John Carl S. Romano, John Doe D. Romo, McLaurin E. Sasidon, Clarence C. Valiosis, Vince D. Sayas, Dan Clifford B. Zuero, Hershey R. Alpajando, Angelme C. Aves, Eileen Joy E. Badanoy, Epermi S. Kaili, Gian B. Gabotira, Marlene Y. Hobisano, Gisa F. Macas, Jolie B. Mata, Jeremy C. Paho, Grace U. Polo, Elmiquen S. Samusa, Loremi L. Tabamo, Josa Marcela G. Tadlas.
The awarding of academic honors and special awards will now take place. Gian Lester C. Caranzo with honors. Hooper M. Dago with honors. Triskeya Giselle C. Guanzon with honors. Jessa F. Macas with honors. Shana Ashley C. Norte with honors. Cherry May C. Paho with honors. Hagar Rioja with honors. Jando D. Romo with honors. Judidea Josh D. Rosalita with honors. Marcella G. Tadlas with honors. Shinky A. Tagsa with honors. And Siron Andre A. Valenzuela with honors. Let us give our academic and special awardees and their parents and guardians a big round of applause. Congratulations! In behalf of the grade 6 graduates, Siron A. Valenzuela, with honors, will now give his message in behalf of the candidates.
Honored guest to our school's division superintendent, Dr. Jonathan S. De La Peña, CESO 5. Our public schools district supervisor, Mrs. Rosana S. Emanel, our ever-loving school principal, Mrs. Elsa E. Luquias, our dear teachers, parents, barangay officials, headed by our barangay chairwoman, Honorable Delilah M. Sunugan, fellow graduates, visitors, ladies and gentlemen, a wonderful afternoon to all. As I made my way up here, I feel the presence of jubilation to everybody present. After long years of hard work, friendship, joy, and laughter, we are now finally prepared to take a leap into the next stage. The time has come for us to reap the fruits of our labor and enjoy our success in finishing our elementary years. Behind this success are special people whom we would like to thank for their unfailing support. To our dear parents, guardians, who have worked so hard in order to give us good education. You have been with us through good times and bad times. We are very thankful to have you as our guide and strength. Thank you for your care and for your love. We offer this day to you. To the teachers who tirelessly exerted their effort in integrating the core values in our lives. To the school principal who have guided us not only in our academic education, but in living out the Christian ideals. Thank you very much. We will forever treasure our time with you here. To our dear friends who serve us our rainbow in life, that made it more colorful and full of adventures. And most of all, to our loving God, for providing us with good health, strength, protection, and abundant blessings. We owe all of this unto you. O Lord, to God be the glory. Our graduation theme, kalidad ng edukasyon laging patatagin sa gitna ng pandemya, strengthening the quality of education amid the COVID-19 pandemic, entails the message of perseverance and survival. Despite the COVID-19 pandemic, DepEd has never failed to keep us going in our studies, finding better solutions to meet the necessary adjustments. In our current situation, we also never stopped achieving our goals and should hand in hand uphold everyone's life as united in one goal and direction. It even strengthened our hopes to succeed and be a productive citizen in the future. With the help and guidance of our parents, teachers, and our school stakeholders. Despite trying times and economic difficulties due to COVID-19 pandemic, we have remained strong and dare we say, productive member of our country, largely because of the foundations laid within. For this, we thank the DepEd. Words are not enough to show our gratitude for all the help and guidance this school has poured out on us graduates. We are truly grateful that Binitinan Elementary School has been a dear part of our lives. Neither time nor distance can ever take away that Christian spirit now in our hearts. Rest assured that we will continuously wave the ideals wherever we may go. Once again, thank you, thank you, thank you. To my fellow graduates, congratulations to all of us.
This time, the school principal, Elsa E. Lucias, shall now introduce our guest speaker.
He is a living inspiration to the young ones and to the parents as well. Our guest speaker was born at Gonzaga, Cagayan Valley on May 16, 1982. He is the son of Honorable Kagawad Roger V. Kailing and Mrs. Sophia Miso. He graduated in Binitinan Elementary School with honors in the year 1994. He studied his secondary at St. Rites College in Balingasag. In the year 1998, he was an Institute of Electrical Engineers Junior President at the University of Science and Technology of Southern Philippines. Graduated in the year 2003 and became a registered electrical engineer last September in the same year. He is a former substation design engineer at Visayan Electrical Company Incorporated. He is presently employed as principal engineer in high voltage Baker Hex Derby in United Kingdom. Ladies and gentlemen, please join me in welcoming our guest speaker in today's 59th graduation ceremony of Binitinan Elementary School, Engineer Sherwin Rod Miso Kailing.
Salamat for the kind introduction. Una sa tanan, salamat sa kaitasan Sa gayon nga gihatag ka nako para magpaambit as your guest speaker today. Niining isa sa mga importante nga milestone sa kinabuhi sa atong mga kabataan nga malampusong human sa ilang elementary education karong adlaw. Sa mga magtutudlo, headed by Balingasag South District Supervisor Mrs. Rosana Emanel and Binitinan Elementary School Principal Mrs. Elsa Luquias. Mayong adlaw kaninyong tanan diha, ma'am. Dili na ako kalimtan, of course, ang atong mga masisipag at very resourceful teachers sa atong pinalanggang eskwelahan sa Binitinan Elementary School. I'm sorry but dili na ako maisa-isa ang inyong mga pangalan. Apan, sa makasapa, salamat kaayo. Ilabi na sa akong igsuon, ako magulang nga si Mr. Andrew Kailing for providing me this opportunity to speak in front of your pupils, albeit remotely, via this amazing technology available at our disposal. Unfortunately, this may not be readily accessible sa uban, but at least, we have the means to reach out, especially ni panahon sa pandemya. Tuod, before I go on further, I'd like to take this opportunity to greet my classmates sa high school. One of your teacher is si Mr. Alni Busgano. Sir Alni, it's been a long time since 1998. How are you? I hope you, your family, and the whole faculty are keeping well during these trying times. Trying times indeed, as best captured in our theme today. Kalidad ng edukasyon, lalong patatagin sa gitna ng pandemya. Strengthening the quality of education amid the COVID-19 pandemic. Sa atong mga kabataan, nanginaot ko, nga unta na ako'y gamay mapaambit sa inyo today. And before continuing, my very best congratulations to each one of you. And of course, maayong adlaw kaninyong tanan ug sa inyong mga ginikanan nga sa kanunay nagpangga ug nagmahal kaninyo. Ug sa ako pod kagulingong parents, akong mama si Mrs. Sofia Kailing ug akong papa si Kagawad Roger Kailing. Mga kapamilya, mga kaubanan, mga silingan naton diha sa atong barangay sa Binitinan. Nga higala, usbong ko, mayong adlaw kaninyong tanan. Our theme this year, once again, kalidad ng edukasyon, lalong patatagin sa gitna ng pandemya. Strengthening the quality of education amid the COVID-19 pandemic. I could not agree more. It's spot on and very well chosen words during this time. I'm sure kita tanan apektado ni ining pandemya sa ang lugar ka man sa mundo. Philippines, China, United Kingdom, Brazil, India, maski asa, wala exempted. Kitang tanan apektado. Subsequently, ug dili unexpected, ang atong education system apektado usab. Tungod kay apektado man ang delivery system, which is traditionally face-to-face. Sa sulod sa atong mga classrooms. But, pinaagi sa brilliance, strong leadership, and resourcefulness sa atong mga teachers, ilang gipangitaan o pamaagi, aron ang kalidad sa edukasyon, magpapiling taas para kaninyong mga kabataan who are all deserving to receive such good quality education. And in fact, it is guaranteed as one of your basic rights as young persons. In other words, inyo kining tawhanong katungod nga makadawat og edukasyon, may pandemya man o wala. Kitang tanan, mapasalamaton sa atong mga magtutudlo kay tungod sa ilang paghago ug sakripisyo, wala kita nila pasagdi. So, nganong kinahanglan man nga i-strengthen ang quality sa edukasyon niining panahona? Personally, I think this is a challenge your teachers gave themselves. Wala sila napabaya kaninyo. Naghago in town sila. Pagbuhat sa inyong mga modules, Ako nang inaot nga inyong isuklian ang ilang kahago. So, unsa may connection? Ani karon sa inyo ha as learners. Let me share to you in my simple analogy. In other words, simple nga pagtandi o pagkumpara. Murag parehas ra na bitaw kung nakakasakyanan unya tungasong kaayo unya kurba dahon pagyud. Murag inana na hitabo karon. Kamo mga learners mao'y pasahero. Ug ang inyong goal syempre is makaabot mo sa ibabaw o sa inyo padulungan. In other words, mao man ninyo kining yugto karon which is ang elementary stage. Ang inyong mga magtutudlo mao'y driver sa itong sakyanan patungas. Kay subidihon man kaayo, kinahanglan na enough o igo nga power or strength ang atong makina sa sakyanan, di ba? Kung pamilyar mo sa sakyanan, di ba, primera or segunda lang nga gear para na power or strength makatungas? Unya, dili pwede pakusgan kaayo kay delikado. For example, mapalong niyang makina o kung dili simbako, mahagbong sa bakilid. Subidahon ba ya? Ang sakyanan sa atong simpleng example, mao ang atong education system. Tungod sa health and safety crisis karon, kumikan ining COVID-19 virus, need sa atong sakyanan nga kusgan o powerful susama sa atong education system. Your teachers needed to strengthen it to a level you as learners all deserve to have. Ang atong mga teachers, sila tanan na ning kamot. Nga kamo mahatagan og serbisyo which is ang dekalidad ng edukasyon. Taliwala, aning dugang hagit sa tanan. Ang inyong safety, actually, safety ninyong tanan, including your teachers ug mga mahal sa kinabuhi sa inyong tagsa-tagsa kapanimalay. Apan luy sa tanan, again, atong mga teachers nagpapilin nga ni suporta kaninyo. Balik ta sa atong example. Pero para medyo sosyal, pwede put airplane instead of car. Yeah, padulong mo ibutang ta dito sa Manila. Gikan sa airport sa Binitinan. Sa aeroplano, di ba, na ay mga crew, mga stewardess para motabang sa kinahanglan sa mga pasahero. Kani mga stewardess, naana sila para pud hamugaway ang inyong biyahe. Parehas atong maginikanan ug uban pang mahal sa kinabuhi. Ana sila para suportahan ta nila. Ayaw kalimot nga dili kay kita ay pasahero, but remember we have our fellow passengers as well. Ang inyong mga classmates, mga friends. You have each other to support yourselves. Dili na lang nako kaayo taas-on nga ako saysay kabahin sa atong specific na tema karon. Kay napakulain ni paambit kaninyo. Balik na sa education in general. There are 3 things I'd like you to remember. Specifically, una, be brave. Dili brave nga isog ba ka ng dili mahadlok og sinumbagay o away. Di na mo ako pasabot. What I meant to say is, ayaw kahadlok sa mga challenges o mga hagit o kalisdanan ba ka sa school o in general sa inyong life. Ayaw kahadlok mangutana, mangayo og tabang. Ayaw pagulaw-ulaw o pagilom lang diya sa kilid. No, dili na maayo. Speak out and look for an answer o solution. Imo nang kaugmaon. So kinahanglan maningkamot kita. Okay? Ay kaduha, ayaw kalimot to stay kind. In other words, magpabilintang maayo sa atong kapwa. Magtinabangay kita. We as Filipinos, usa ka na sa atong strong, positive traits. We help each other. We look out for each other. Kung imong classmate o friends, kinahanglan og tabang, ato sila tabangan kung kaya nato. Okay? Going katulo, o last but not the least, be ambitious. Aim high. Dream high. I would like that you challenge yourself. Hagita niyong kaugalingon. Kung kita na taong kabus o naglisod sa kinabuhi, Ayaw sugot nga, ingon anak na lang tapirme. Paningkamot, lihok. As young persons like you, how? Unsaon man? Ang tuba? Edukasyon ang solusyon. As an example, look at your teachers. Like you, they too were young as you are right now. But now, they have a very stable, as well as a very rewarding job. It's rewarding in the sense that they have this opportunity to support you, to help you, to mold you to become successful someday. Look at your neighbors, mga silingan. Ang uban, negosyante na. Ang uban, professional na. Ang uban, nag-abroad. Pwede po ko ninyo himuong himplo. Sama ka ninyo. I am one of you, listening right now, way back 27 years ago, in 1994, where I finished my elementary education diri sa atong pinalanggang alma mater, Binitinan Elementary School. Sa tinud lang, how I wish I am there in the Philippines today, in Binitinan, to see you and congratulate you in person. Tuod, kahibalo mo nga nung successful akong journey in terms of achieving my goal? Ubanan sa paningkamot, kaloyan sa kahitasan, support sa akong mga ginikanan o pamilya, ako, at tunay ambisyon sa akong kinabuhi, nga medyo mahayahay akong ugma, akong future. Karon, I consider myself a successful product of our own Philippine education system, and specifically a product of our own Binitinan Elementary School. I am also proud to share to you, as a fellow product of our school, a humble Bisaya, parehas ninyo, para magbarangay sa Binitinan, na sa pagkakaroon ay lead and manage other professional engineers who are all British citizens diri sa England, United Kingdom, where I am now living, uban sa akong pamilya. But please note, being where I am now, I have encountered a number of challenges sa akong kinabuhi. Your journey in getting education is only beginning. In the next few months, high school na mo. Then hopefully puhon, college, o pwede po technical education, for example sa TESDA. Actually, getting education or learning is a never-ending journey. Kada adlaw, natay pwede bago may balaan. O kung kita at tunay daghang may balaan, mahimo kini atong opportunity nga kita mas magmalampuson. I encourage you to continue getting that education. Because if it worked for others like me, it will also work for you. Sa ato pa, kung kaya suban, kaya na ninyo. Ayaw kalimot sa tulog ka mga pulong na akong gisulti ganiha. Be brave, be kind, and be ambitious. Kung naapapahabol, be educated. Tuod, syempre, don't forget also to continue to have fun. Though you need to be serious in achieving your goals, enjoy your journey. Ayaw pod kalimot nga ang inyong family, especially your parents, are there to guide you along the way. Paminawa sila. Ang inyong mga teachers, sa next stage sa inyong education journey sa high school, sa kanunay, hinaot pa, nga magpabiling ka mo, nga mo respeto kanila. Sa tinud lang, I have a lot to share to you, but dili na lang ko tama. Ako nang hinaot, nga na ako'y napaambit ka ninyo, mas kigamay. Again, congratulations kaninyong tanan. Lastly, keep safe and take care of each other. God bless you all.
We shall now virtually award the plaque of appreciation to our guest speaker with the citation. Republic of the Philippines, Department of Education, Division of Misamis Oriental, District of Balingasag South, Binitinan Elementary School. A plaque of appreciation is given to Sherwin Rod M. Kailing for her invaluable effort extended to Binitinan Elementary School as guest speaker during the 59th graduation ceremony with the theme, Kalidad ng Edukasyon, lalong patatagin sa gitna ng pandemya, strengthening the quality of education amid the COVID-19 pandemic. Given this 13th day of July 2021 at Binitinan Elementary School, Binitinan, Balingasag, Misamis Oriental, signed by Elsa E. Lucias, School Principal. Shinki A. Tagsa will now lead the class for their Pledge of Loyalty.
Pledge of Loyalty. We, the graduates of Binitinan Elementary School, Binitinan, Balingasag, Misamis Oriental, of the school year 2020-2021, do hereby solemnly swear to value and preserve the knowledge imparted to us by our beloved teachers and forever live up to the expectations of our dear alma mater. So help us God.
The graduates will now render their alma mater and graduation song.
Thank you for teaching me how to love, showing me what the word means, what I've been dreaming of. And now I know there is nothing that I could not do. Thanks to you for teaching me how to feel, showing me my emotions, letting me know what's real from what is not. What I've got is more than I'd ever hoped for, and a lot of what I've hoped for is thanks to you. No mountain, no valley, no time, no space, no heartache, no heartbreak, no far from grace can stop me from believing that my love will pull me through. Thanks to you.
school PTA President, will now formally close the ceremony.
Mayong adlaw sa tanan, akong mahalipayon nga pagpanimbaya sa ngalan niining Binitinan Elementary School sa tanan nga mga magtutudlo niining tulunghaana, sa tanan isab nga mga taga Barangay Council, sa mga ginikanan, kabataan, subli kaninyong tanan, maayod yung adlaw. Ako magpahatod og mahalipayon kaayo nga haluyuman sa pandemya, inyo gyapong nakabot ang inyong gipangandoy nga kalampusan. Kay nakabot man ninyo ang pangandoy nga kalampusan, inyong pasalamatan ang mga nagpatungha kaninyo, si mama, si papa, si uncle o si auntie, si lola o si lolo. Sa tanan nga nagpaluyo kaninyo nga inyo kining makabot, pasalamatin ninyo sila. Kay kung wala sila, dili kini ninyo makabot. Ang inyong mama o papa naningkamot sumatag adlaw sa pagpanisikay-sikay, haluyuman sa pandemya nga atong gisagubang karon panahon na. Kaniadto inana kami, karon kamo isab. Kay kamo man isab karon, inyong makabot ang lain na isab ang sa lain nga kaugmaon. Kaninyong tanan, akong ipaabot nga kaninyo ang akong mahalipayon kaayo nga congratulations og kaninyong tanan sa makanunay ako magaingon mag-inampingon ang matag usa kanatong tanan.
That concludes the virtual graduation ceremony of Binitinan Elementary School. Thank you for joining us in celebrating this momentous occasion. Congratulations parents, teachers, and staff. Congratulations graduates, class of 2021. Mabuhay ang DepEd!